Hey guys, welcome back to Amrazul TV. Today I'm going to give you the 21-month update on my Redsea Reefer 250. Alright, a few things has changed. Let's start with the fish. So the first thing, I've mentioned this last video as well, is I lost 3 fish over the past month. All of them jumped out of the tank. I lost one of my clowns, my oldest clownfish. I lost 2 of my wrasses, so I only had 2 wrasses here, a canary yellow wrasse and a leopard, an ornate leopard wrasse, and both of them jumped over the past month. So obviously, I really like the open top look of the tank, but I don't like losing fish. You spend a lot of, it's not even the money, it's just the time quarantining them and getting them to feed. And then adding to the tank and feeding them every day, and then they jump off and die. It's not a good experience. So as much as I hate to obstruct the top view, I'm gonna get a lid for my tank right now. I have this PVC, sorry, not PVC, but egg crate top that I made to kind of fit the Redsea Reefer right now. This is temporary. I've ordered a custom acrylic, I can't pronounce today. I've ordered a custom lid that I will receive hopefully next week. So that this thing is going to be gone, but right now I have it on because I don't want to lose any more fish. And so I've lost 3 fish, and to kind of replace them, I got another clownfish, and I got 2 more wrasses. I got a wrasse that you see here right now, a yellowtail tamarin wrasse. And I got a really fancy Moyer leopard wrasse, which are rare leopard wrasses. I don't think they're rarely collected. They're not really rare. They're just people don't collect them that often. So I was a little bit worried about adding. There's a new clown. His name is Valentine. He's kind of one of the fancy clown breeds. I don't really know the name, but maybe a platinum. Anyway, I was a little bit worried adding the little clown to the established clown Nemo here. So I introduced him and my leopard wrasse after quarantine by an acclimation box. And I was super happy that, when they were released from the acclimation box, the little clown Valentine quickly kind of teamed up with the established clown Nemo. There was no aggression, and they've been hanging together like buddies ever since. The Moyery wrasse, which you'll see in the video in the acclimation box, I added him first, and then I added the yellowtail tamarin wrasse, and there was a little bit of aggression between the wrasses. So for the sake of minimizing the aggression, I actually trapped the leopard wrasse out, and now he's back in my quarantine. And I'm just gonna let this beautiful guy establish and feel a little bit safer here, the tamarin wrasse. And then I'm going to reintroduce the leopard wrasse using an acclimation box, and hopefully that will get the 2 wrasses to kind of peacefully coexist. Okay, so some update on the sump and water chemistry. So the water parameters of the tank have been pretty stable for the most part. Alkalinity around 8.6, calcium 430, magnesium about 1400 or 1420. Nitrates and phosphates over the last month have been fairly stable at 5 parts per million nitrates and about 0.1 parts per billion phosphates. So I've restarted my refugium, and I'm now growing Chaeto, and it's growing really well for me. I'm not dosing anything, and the result is over the last month, my phosphates and my nitrates have been pretty stable. They're not increasing, they're not decreasing, so that I'm happy about that, because all I need to do is just harvest the Chaeto here once a week, and I seem to be getting pretty stable nitrates and phosphates from this. All right, one thing that I'm starting to phase out is the use of kalkwasser in my ATO. So this is a 5-gallon jug, and every time I fill it, I would add about 3 tablespoons of kalkwasser in here. And that's been doing a good job of maintaining my parameters in terms of calcium and alkalinity, and also increasing the pH when we're around. So the pH of my tank is anywhere between normally 8.2 and 8.3. The problem that I'm having is whenever I'm away on vacation, which I was away on vacation last week, the pH of the tank quickly rises. So the kalkwasser and the fact that we're not at home breathing out carbon dioxide leads to spikes in the pH. And this causes some problems because I have my Apex set to turn off the ATO whenever the pH of the tank goes about 8.4. And as soon as we leave the house, the pH of the tank goes to 8.4. So this results in essentially the automatic top off being disconnected during most of the day when the pH of the tank is higher than 8.4. And then it comes on at night. So this is not ideal in terms of keeping alkalinity stable and also keeping salinity stable. So what I'm doing is I'm phasing out the use of kalkwasser slowly, and I'm just gonna have to just dose alkalinity and calcium separately to make up for this. But I think this will result in more stable calcium and alkalinity. But also whenever I have to go away, it's gonna be less stress on the tank. Okay, that's it in terms of fish and sump changes and water parameters. In terms of corals, things have been going really well. The SBS have been growing. I've got some pretty impressive growth down at the bottom here. This is the Acropora tenuis. It's growing really quickly. The Pac-Man coral is growing really quickly. And it seems like my red planet is actually starting to take off back there, and so is my blueberry wine. And if you remember last update, I had some issue with this awesome tort that I have here. Essentially, the issue was there was this kind of slow recession at the base of the coral, so you kind of hopefully see it here. And I was concerned that this was slow tissue necrosis. At one point, I debated about actually cutting off this whole colony and moving it to a different spot. But I've elected to kind of just not do anything too drastic. I cut a couple of big chunky frags from this, but I didn't fully remove it. And I'm happy because essentially this recession kind of stopped. So and the colony's been growing really well and has maintained its lovely colors. So I'm not sure what causes a recession, whether it was kind of some kind of change in water parameters or whether it was slow tissue necrosis that stopped. But the most likely hypothesis is that the colony is just getting too big, that it's shading the base and the base is dying. All right, let's do a quick tour of top-down tour of the tank. So here we have my Aura Birds of Paradise growing really well. This blue tenuis is doing really well, sitting at new branches, and this Mr. Refract, Mr. Pac-Man has just been increasing in size. I should start fragging it soon. On the top here, this lovely cap is doing really well. And these mushrooms, I think they're Rhodactis mushrooms. I'm pretty fond of them. All right, in terms of the Acropora on top, here is our red planet, which is doing really well. And I see some new branches, some nubs of new branches down on top. So I think it's finally going to start taking off. This colony is finally starting to show the colors that I know it's capable of. This is called blueberry wine. And, it hasn't been looking like this for the last kind of year and a half. It was pretty dull, but finally I'm starting to get to see this like lovely electric blue that I know this coral could have. So I'm really happy about that, and it's growing really well now. I had here, this is a sea cal frag. This is a chunky tort, a pretty chunky frag that I actually got from my tort colony when I was worried that it was going to die on me. So I'm going to start another colony here. Normally you don't want to have too many colonies of the same coral, but I really love this coral, so I'm going to have 2 colonies. This bonsai frag is also doing pretty well. All right, let's look across. Here we have Rainbow Aussie, which is looking great. The Reef Raft Orange Passion is coloring up really nicely and sending out new branches, and so is the Shockaholic. Here's another shot of the pink Cadillac and the Orange Passion. Here we go, and the Shockaholic, very nice coral. My pink Millie colony, I actually cut it in two and fragged it because it was shading this Sunset Montipora, which I just got, so it's a little bit hard to see. So I just wanted to kind of give some space for the Sunset Montipora to establish. And then looking at the top here, we have this massive colony of pink Mystic Montipora. The blue Voodoo is looking great. It's growing really well, sending out new branches. The green Slimer is also exploding. So I'm just getting really an explosion of SBS growth. And the star of the tank, this lovely electric Miyagi tort, or whatever it is it's called. Beautiful, beautiful colony with green base, pink, hot pink tips, and some dark blue or purple polyps. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I plan to do a video pretty soon on my scuba diving adventures in Cozumel, Mexico. So that I'll probably release in about a week or so. And in the meantime, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.